Hello everyone, it's me again. In this video, I'm going to be going through how to outsource tasks in your Amazon business, right? Because if you're going to scale your business to a point where you can actually get your time freedom, your location freedom, you're going to need to be able to outsource, okay? Now, as usual, I've got my trusty phone on me with my notes, just to make sure this video doesn't spiral and end up being 10 years long. So yeah, that's the main reason I use my phone in these videos and have some notes here. It's just so I don't spiral and start talking about things that this video are meant to be about, right? Because I can talk about Amazon for days. Those of you who have worked with me know that. So why outsource? Okay, it's going to enable you to free up your time to achieve your time freedom and your location freedom. So you can get to a point whereby your business is still churning and you're sat, let's say, at a nice restaurant in Italy, sipping on a margarita or whatever you like to sip on, right? So that's why you want to outsource. And also, so you can get time freedom. Okay, so you can own your time while your business is still churning, and you can essentially reap the rewards of having a successful business, right? Do you want to work in your business or do you want to work on your business? Okay, so it's very, very important to understand that. Now, I'm sure a lot of you here want to outsource your business, okay, but you've got to make sure that your business is positioned correctly and is set up in the correct way to actually be outsourced, and we will cover that. Well, we'll cover that now. So what do I mean by ensuring that your business is set up in a way whereby it can actually be outsourced? For example, if you're doing wholesale, a lot of you who are doing wholesale now and want to outsource, right? Please understand you can only outsource when your fundamentals are correct, when your business is in a position or is running in a way that is sustainable, okay? What I mean by that is, you cannot go and try and outsource elements of your wholesale business if you are not getting the results that you want from these systems which you have in place. For example, let's say your supplier acquisition methods are to use Google to find suppliers. You cannot outsource this because this system or this acquisition process which you've put in place to obtain suppliers is inefficient. It does not work. You can have 5 million VAs doing this, it will not work, okay? You need to have systems that work before you go and outsource. For example, you need to have methods to find suppliers that can actually make you money. A method of going on Google and Googling for suppliers is not a method which will find you money when it comes to doing wholesale. Therefore, it is pointless outsourcing this task at this stage in your business because it's not gonna work. I don't care how many VAs you get, it's not gonna work. Okay, so it's very, very important to understand that. Okay, you can only outsource once the systems and processes which you have in place work and are streamlined. Okay, so straight off the bat, you can't outsource finding suppliers if you don't know how to find suppliers which will actually make you money on Amazon. With that being said, you might want to go and outsource going through price lists when it comes to wholesale. However, do you actually know how to go through price lists properly? Do you know how to extract profits out of price lists other people won't be able to find? If not, you cannot outsource it because you do not know how to do it, and you are going to be spending money outsourcing a process which isn't even efficient. We can only go and invest in overheads, in VAs, in staff that and outsource tasks which we know how to do to a very, very high level, which actually return us an ROI which is worthwhile when it comes to investing into these VAs, right? It's pointless investing into a VA for the sake of time freedom if the tasks they are not doing are not efficient or are not as successful as they should be. Okay, now I hope that makes sense, and I can keep going through literally every single step involved in the wholesale business model and saying or breaking it down and explaining to you, okay, yes, you might be doing this, but does that actually work? If not, don't get a VA to do it until you know exactly the most efficient, the most systemized way that this process should be done. Only then go and invest in a VA. Only when you know how to, let's say, negotiate with a supplier efficiently in an optimal way can you then go and outsource that task, okay? Don't just get a VA and say, look, your job is to negotiate with suppliers. If you don't know how to do it in the most efficient, optimized way, there's no point doing it. Let's say there's no point you getting a VA, go and find suppliers using Google. No, that task which you've given them is never going to work. it's flawed, it's not as efficient as it should be. Instead, what you want to do is look, here are 20 strategies to find unsaturated suppliers that can actually make you money consistently on Amazon. Utilize these, bang. You're then literally giving your VA the ammunition that they need to go and build you a sustainable portfolio of suppliers. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. And only once you know essentially what you're outsourcing to a very, very high level, to a level that will actually bring you sustainability and longevity within your business, only then you can outsource that task, okay? And don't make the mistake of, let's say you've got cash on the side, like, I want to outsource this. You've got to actually break down what you're outsourcing and have an understanding of whether or not it actually works for you. Very, very simple. Or whether or not it actually works efficiently for you first before you then go and try to outsource it. Now, with that being said, what are some different tasks which you can outsource? So now we've just very briefly touched on the sourcing side of it, finding suppliers, let's say going through price lists, we've touched on. Obviously you can outsource prep and shipping, something like that is very, very recommended. Obviously, because when it comes to ROI, you don't want to be investing your time into prepping stock when you can invest that time, especially when it comes to wholesale. When that time can be invested, let's say big on the phone, talk to suppliers, developing relationships. These relationships can make you $5,000 in profit, let's say in a month, but instead you're sat there filling with bubble wrap and sellotape. That's where you're not. Outsource prep and shipping as soon as possible when it comes to wholesale. Very, very low ROI task. So essentially the whole goal with our outsourcing is you want to be focusing on the highest ROI tasks: supplier, relationship maintenance, negotiation, meeting suppliers in person, funding acquisition if that's something that you're looking into, forecasting, things like this is what you want to be focused on. Low ROI tasks that any Tom, Dick and Harry can do, for example, prepping, you can outsource, right? Prep centers are out there to do that for you. So that's something which you can understand as well. Admin, very simple stuff. VAs can do as well. So how to actually find these VAs, right? I've spoken about, look, you can't outsource this until this is in place. You can't do this until this is in place, but how can we actually outsource? Once you've got the systems and processes and strategies that actually work. Once let's say you've got proven methods, proven strategies that work, again, I can show you all these strategies like this in my program if you're interested. Link in the description to book a call so you don't waste all your time, you don't burn your money trying to learn these methods. I've literally done it all, so you can literally have all the blueprint, use this blueprint and show you VAs, teach you VAs the same thing so they can literally start like a house on fire, right? But yeah, let's say in a couple of years' time or in a couple of months' time, once you know exactly how these little cogs within your business should be run, once you know how to find these suppliers, once you know how to negotiate, once you know how to renegotiate, once you know how to set up systems for replenishment, so you know which stock to buy, when to buy it, how much to buy of it based on your lead times from your suppliers. Once you've got all these things to a T in let's say a year's time, or let's say you jump in the program and you have access to all that information today, what do you do? How do you find these VAs? Okay, so in our program, I'll touch on this first. We have a recommended partner who will literally give you the VAs. Okay, they'll give you trained and vetted VAs, obviously for a cost, but you'll have everything in front of you. The system is there. Like I said, in the program, we've literally got everything. Just put the work in, you'll make a success out of wholesale with the program. But let's say you're not in the program and you don't join the program, and you want to, let's say, learn the processes and systems yourself inside out and learn all the inefficiencies of it, or try to, because not everyone will see or pick up what I've picked up over the last 5 years, because obviously everyone's different. But yeah, let's say you're going down the old route and you want to find your VAs yourself. Obviously, you can utilize different websites. For example, you've got Online Jobs PH. So that's a website that you can use, which that essentially gets, well, you can get VAs from the Philippines essentially, which are paid pretty low amounts in compared to what people get paid here. So that's something to think about. You've got Upwork, you've got Fiverr, you've got all these different sites that you could use to acquire VAs, right? And obviously when it comes to acquiring these VAs, write clear job descriptions, outline what the business actually is, interview them thoroughly, obviously, because this person you are going to be investing in. So understand that. Something which I'd recommend is ensure that these guys have good Wi-Fi connections and are good at English so they understand what you're saying and you can communicate with them correctly. So when it does come to training them and putting SOPs in place, it's very, very clear for both of you to understand and get a gauge of where you're at, and there's no miscommunication as well. So yeah, onto standard operating procedures. Have these in place for your VAs, okay? Also have your step-by-step guides. You want training systems all there for your VAs. Like I said, this is if you do go down the route of trying to get them yourself. Like I said, we cover all the VA side of things in the program, whereby VAs already have these SOPs in place, already have these processes, are already trained. But when it comes to training them yourself, have your SOPs in place. You can record videos on Loom to get them to follow along as well when it comes to training these VAs. And also you can use platforms like Asana to set them tasks as well. Something else I'd recommend as well is give them incentives, right? Let's say if you locate 50 suppliers this week using the strategies which we show you, you can go and get an extra bonus of 30 quid, things like that, okay? Really, really simple to do, things which will incentivize them to work harder for your business, and essentially they'll make you more money as well. So that's something to think about. Okay, now in terms of costings, VAs can cost anywhere between 300 quid a month upwards. Now, it depends on how skilled they are and what you want them to do, how many hours you want them to work as well. So that's something that you have to consider. You can get a VA part-time, but obviously when it comes to ROI of investing in a VA when they're doing the right things, spending upwards of 300 quid a month is nothing in compared to how much money they can make you when you've got them doing the right things. You can spend 500 quid a month on the VA, but if they're doing the wrong processes, which you've showed them, they're not going to yield the results. If you've shown them the right processes, shown them the right systems, which are already efficient, already are proven to work, and you get a VA to do it, you will return your money at a very, very good ROI, okay? So that's something to think about. So yeah, and obviously these VAs will help you scale, obviously, because you are paying, let's say, 500 quid a month for a VA. The return, they might make you 3 grand a month in profit when they're doing the right things, okay? So it will really help you scale your business, not only financially to make you more profit, but also you as a person. You can outsource tasks, you can achieve time freedom, you can achieve location freedom when these VAs are doing the right things. Let's say you've got 5 VAs, you pay 500 quid a month each, and they each make you 3 grand a month extra in profit. You can see how exponential it can get when you've got these VAs doing the right things. You've trained them correctly. You've shown them what to do. You've jumped on Zoom calls with them. You've shown them Loom recordings. You've given them templates, given them step-by-step guides. You've given them everything. You've trained them. That's what's possible. Or you can just jump on the program and have everything there in front of you. Have a proven blueprint, have proven systems that will work. That have not only worked for me, but also our members within the program who are literally flying, right? Like I said, you want to jump on, got any questions, link in the description. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, because there'll be a lot more videos coming, and I will catch you in the next one.